Greetings. Let's do the Friday walk and talk. I am at a City of Durham park today called West Point on the Eno. And I don't think I ever posted the video I took at Eno River State Park. It was just too nice to not be outside today, but I'm finding here in North Carolina the sun likes to play hide and seek a lot. So it is out technically, but it's also behind a cloud at the moment. This was, it's kind of a historic and cultural site, and I believe from the video I watched from the Parks Department before I came out here that it was, the mill was built prior to the Revolutionary War. So we're talking about colonial time period. Oh, there's a sign down here. I know a friend of mine that lives further south, who I knew in Virginia, really likes to see these walk and talks where she can see the typical terrain and topography of what she calls Virginia, but this is actually North Carolina. It's not a whole lot different. There is a pretty little walkway across a bridge down here, so I'm going to go see where that leads me to. There's also a sign here by this mill. It looks like there's a railroad trestle up that way. I don't know, let me spin around. You can see what I believe is the mill. And some sun on my face. I'll see what that sign has to say in just a minute. Oh, and there's a waterfall. Probably can't see it, and I'm going to blind you in the sun if I go this way, so let me pause it. That bulletin board was completely useless unless you wanted to come back for an event in the summer. I'll show you this. I guess this is a holding pond for the mill, maybe. I'll cross the bridge and then we'll start up. Somebody's sitting there on the bridge reading. Yeah, here's, I guess, the water wheel for the mill, which I believe is open from April through the fall. So they release that sluice gate there, and it lets the water run over the wheel. I've crossed that little bridge at the moment. Now you can see the mill behind me. There's actually a fair amount of people out here, so I'll be pausing it not to get a whole lot of other people in the video. But I knew most of you wanted to see some of what's out here, or at least where I'm at. And if you don't know who I am, this is Chip, or I'm Chip, and this channel is Chillin with Chip. And I'm chilling at West Point on the Eno, City of Durham, North Carolina City Park. There's a picnic pavilion over there. Let's see, can we see it? Should be in there. And then there's a park office up the way. And this waterfall, or dam, I guess. I'll get over there where we can get a better view of it. I decided you'd seen enough of me that I could turn the camera around and use the front-facing camera. Oh, what is that? A couple of vultures, I think, flying around. But here's, looks like a cement dam, so that's definitely not from the 1700s. You can see the water's coming over fairly rapidly and going down. This is, I guess, technically the Eno River. I see a couple people down there lower. Of course, all they say is not to take anything and control your trash. This is another tributary feeding in, and I'm on a bridge here. It goes to the big reservoir or pond here behind the cement dam. As I was driving down the road to come here, I noticed there was a pull-off before the main entrance to the park, and I think that gets you to that trail on that side of the river. You can see there's a young man over there walking by those big, what I call sewer holes. I don't know what they are. Probably overflow for the pipes. This is just old muddy, well, it's not muddy today, an old dirt trail right here beside the river. I did take off my hiking boots after I'd taken Max through the forest behind the house. So I'm just in my tennis shoes at the moment, so I won't be going terribly far because they are not very well padded. But I don't guess you really need to see a whole lot of what's out here. Oh, I guess I'm at the end of the trail for right here. I'm not far enough south in North Carolina to worry about alligators. That was closer down to Wilmington and Leland. That's the north end of the alligator. Actually, not even Leland. Well, maybe Leland. What is that? Trash, I think. But closer down to Sunset Island Beach is where I saw some alligators in the wild last year. So this house sit is about to wrap up. This is not it's a wrap video. This is just a walk and hug. There's those two vultures up there. I don't know. Let's see if we can get them on the camera. I don't know if I've got it pointed right. I don't see them. I think they gotta be up there somewhere. I don't know if you can see them or not. They're getting higher and higher. But I have been hearing from the owners, and they are back in the country. Apparently they flew from New Zealand to Dallas, or DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Airport. And then they flew on to Maryland to spend some time with their daughter. I was scheduled to be here until February the 15th. Then the man sent me a text saying he thought they would be coming back on the 13th. And then the wife said, no, why don't we do the 14th if that's not a problem for you? And I told them I had to be in Wilmington on the 15th. So they've offered to let me stay with them, as have the people in Wilmington. So I'm hoping I can get on down to Wilmington as quickly as possible because that's the beach. Turns out that both of the families, the ones here and the ones in Wilmington, are, I guess you call it, vegetarians. They're 100% whole plant. And I'm pretty much 100% whole food animal. So I won't be eating with either family unless I'm doing something on my own, because I'm not going to eat a plant-based meal. You can see lots of people out walking their dogs everywhere you look. I'll pause it while I go back to the car. I'm still walking, as you can see, but the people and the dogs have generally passed. Here's another little bridge over this. That's the one I crossed earlier by the mill. And I guess because of the sluice, this one doesn't really flow much, just a little, unless it's higher. But this park does have this circle drive around it. And around to that corner there, I drove the whole circle before I decided where to stop and get out. And I really wish they'd bring a grader down here because there's some big old bumps and potholes right about that curve. And everybody doesn't have a Jeep or a four-wheel drive that drives through here. So it's kind of rough in a Toyota Camry hybrid. Well, here's some smaller ones. I didn't even notice those, but those are almost like you got to avoid them, or they couldn't really swallow the car, but you think they will as you're driving up to them. And it's been very wet here. There's more mud puddle. Reminds me of my walk at Mount Ayr, A-Y-R. I don't think that video ever got posted either. The crash of the computer gives me a lot of material I have stored on my phone, which is really stored on Google Photos, that I could actually splice and get put up. If I have a downtime, maybe I will. There's another old building there. I think as I was driving around, it said it was a blacksmith shop. So I'm going to end this for now. It's probably long enough by the time I splice the two segments. Oh, but let me show you the daffodils over there on the hill. Yes, it's acting like it's spring here in early February. They're blooming all over the yard too. I just haven't done a video in the backyard. But you can see bunches of them on that hill, and there's some old gears for the mill and probably some old millstones. And yes, this is a one-way road. You can just go around, so I'll have to leave and go back out through all the bumps again. But I'm not going to make a video of it because it'll probably shake the camera out of the holder. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little quick tour of West Point on the Eno. And you know, you hear West Point and you think, well, that's a marketing thing like West Point Military Academy. But since that mill was actually founded before the Revolution, I'm not even sure West Point Military Academy was around at that point in time. There's a lot of cities in different states that are named the same thing. Makes it a bit confusing when you travel sometimes. Anyway, there should be a subscribe button in the lower left-hand corner, I think. Maybe it's right with the camera facing this way. Anyway, please hit that if you haven't. I'd love a thumbs up or a thumbs down and a comment in the comment section just to let me know you're watching. Here's a little bit of green grass, which I don't see much of down here. So anyway, I'll end with that. Y'all have a great day. Love you. God bless. Bye-bye.